Om Swastiastu. Good morning, Mrs. Era and friend. On this occasion, I, as the moderator, will lead the presentation of our group. But before that, let me introduce our member on this group. They are Kadek Wijaya, Putu Reynald Pratama, Nyoman Satya Surya Darma, and last me, Budi Hartama. Today, we will discuss about three topics. They are definition of personality, characteristic of personality, and factor of personality in learning. The first topic, we will discuss about the meaning of personality. In Latin word, personality is a kind of rule, which means the max depicting the behavior, character, and temperament of an actor in drama. Personality is a unique way of thinking, feeling, and behaving. Personality includes emotion, attitude, and opinion, and is most clearly expressed in interaction with others. Personality includes both intrinsic and acquired behavioral characteristics, which distinguish a person from others and can be observed in the relationship between a person and his environment. There are several experts that have defined personality. That is, Gordon Alport state, personality is a dynamic organization within the individuals of those psychological systems that determine his unique adjustment to his environment. Next, from Atmegolu and Chamorro Prosmik, say that personality is a core determinant of individual differences in everyday behavior which affect individual educational and occupational success, health, material status, and relationship satisfaction, and even eating and sleeping preferences. Then, from augment means the integration of the socio-psychological behavior of human being represented by habit of action and feeling, attitude, and opinion. Next, from Landberg and others say that the term personality refers to the habit, attitude, and other social traits that are characteristic of given individual's behavior. Last, from McAdam and Paul say that personality is individual's unique variation of the general evolutionary design for human nature expressed as developing pattern of the dispositional trait, characteristic adaptation, and integrative life story complexly and differently situated in culture. Therefore, personality is the number way of person react and interact with other people. These are individual differences in characteristic pattern of thinking, feeling, and behavior. This is a highest understanding of the inherent nature in living things. It is an act of courage, the affirmation of life, and the absolute affirmation of everything that makes up the individual, the most successfully adaptation to universal condition of existence, and the greatest freedom of self-determination. For example, his personality is very popular, or he is very influentially in field of genetic engineering. For the next slide, regarding the characteristic personality, will be discussed by Reynald Pratama. For Reynald, time is yours.
Okay, thanks Budi for the time. Now I will talk about characteristic of personality. Personality is the sum of the thoughts, attitudes, and values of a person which determines his role in society and is an inseparable part of his character. The individual acquires individuality by participating in collective life. It refers to things that are more important and lasting to a person. Apart from the basic agreement, personality also has other common characteristics, namely, personality is something which is unique in each individual. Second is personality refers particularly to the persistent qualities of an individual. Third is personality represents a dynamic orientation of an organism to the environment. Fourth is personality is greatly influenced by social interaction. Fifth is personality represent a unique organization of persistent, dynamic, and social predisposition. Six is consistency. Seven is psychological and psychological. Eight is it impacts behavior and action. And the last is multiple expression. Okay, for this topic, which is factor of personality and learning, will be explained by Satya. For Satya, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Reynald, for the time and chance given to me to. Okay, now I will explain about factor of personality and learning. In general, the process of learning is influenced by some personal factor, and it is really important to know because it will very helpful for parents and teachers to understanding and guiding their children in learning process. Next, that there are there are 10 personal factor. That personal factor is the first is sensation and perception. Sensation and perception is a basic psychological factor that help learning process. Sensation is the core of perception. There are five sense of human organ that are skin, ears, tongue, eyes, and nose. If there are dysfunction or a bit defect on these five sense organ, it will affect the learning process and affect the acquisition of knowledge because sensation is have in perception of various stimuli in environment. For example, a boy who has problem with his eye, he has -2 on his left eye and 1.75 minus on his right eye. That will affect on his learning process, where he can read from far or read a small alphabet. Maybe he can use glasses that to help, but it will still uh, reduce the efficiency of learning. If he lost his glasses or he forget to bring his glasses, it will be a problem in learning process. Second is fatigue and boredom. These two factors is the most mainly factor that influence person or people, and may this is affect every person in this world. Everyone ever have fatigue and boredom. Fatigue is mental or physical tiredness, and boredom is opposite of that. Boredom is moment when you not really want to do anything or say an aversion. Everything you do, if you do that seldom or not often, it will show boredom to do that again in the future, especially in learning process. Fatigue and boredom will decreasing the efficiency in learning. For the example, a person is tiredness or boredom, their mind will take more long time to understand and meaning the material given, or maybe they clearly not understand the material given or explained by the lecturer or teacher. Number three is age and maturation. In general, age and maturation is directly influence the learning process. Based on psychological research, human in every step of their life has a way to learning. The example is when you child under 4 years old, person usually don't know how to do something that need the coordination of brain like playing cube or reading a sentence, maybe just only read word. Then when you teens or you are going more mature, you can do that. You can do such thing that need a coordination of brain. This is in general. Maybe in some case, if there is there some children that can learn at earlier age. It depends on the children multiple intelligence. Number four is emotional conditions. The stable and ideal emotional condition can enhance the quality and speed in learning. It's really important to keep happiness and joy in learning process because it will make the learning process more good and more effectively. Because as we know, unstable and bad emotion condition can interrupt learning process. In fact, Depression and emotional stress can extremely impact to school learning. The person who depressed or emotional stress will don't have a spirit to do learning process. Next, number 5 is needs. Need is the lack of something. If provided, it will help the child behavior. In human being, need is a long-term thing and they will find a way to fill their needs to get satisfied. When their need is can be filled, sooner or later, that needs will comes up again in other form and energizes next activity to fill their needs. For example, if our needs for learning process is exist or provided, it will make person want to study. For example, this day, nowadays we are study in an online way. We are online learning and we need a facility to do the learning process, for example, like laptop or maybe smartphone. If it not filled, learning process will affected for that person and make the person will feel boredom to study. Six is interest. Every person have their own interest in what section. Maybe when teenage or children age, the interest is changing sometimes. But as long as maturation, the interest of something will diversify and stabilize. If someone through something that they not interest, it will make the learning process is not effective. For example, there's a boy who love mathematics. When when the learning is about mathematics, he will so excited and so interest. He will learning it goodly and fast. And when and that boy is not love about maybe art class, and when the art class begin, he will maybe feel boredom and fatigue, and they will make the learning process not efficient and he not learn good. So interest is really important. Next, for this slide will be explained by my partner. For Krishna, time is yours.
Okay, thanks for the time given to me. Next, I will continue about some personal factor. Number 7, about motivation. Motivation is the core when learning process. Motivation is something that generates person to do something, and motivation can help learner to through the direct learning process without much difficult and feel burden. Moreover, motivation can enhance and improve the learning result of the learner. There are two types of motivation that are intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is come from the person itself. Their desire have an important part here to make someone more active in learning. Then the reward is skill or knowledge that person have learned as long learning process, which can be applied in their life. The example, when someone have a wish to be a photographer, then go to college and take the multimedia major. Study diligently about photographer work and then after graduate have a photo studio, then be a professional photographer. Extrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation is motivation that comes when someone desire influenced by other person for some reason. The example, someone study diligently in Japanese language major because he think work in Japan will make his parent proud like how proud his mother when his father worked in Japan a few years ago. Number 8, intelligent. Next. Usually, intelligence expressed by an IQ score on intelligence test. This score relates to learning process. Generally, students with higher IQ learn rapidly than others with normal IQ. But higher IQ not guarantee for rapid learning because still here other factors like motivation and interest. If students have high IQ, but they learn science that they doesn't like or love, that intelligence will be useless because that person will not study maximum. Number 9, attitude. Every person have a different attitude. A student who have good attitude for a specific subject or skill will learn that subject more faster, more better, and their psyche or mind feel happy when doing that again and again. Also, retain it for a larger time. However, he will need larger time to learn some specific skill or subject that opposite with their attitude. Maybe he will feel unhappy and bored soon. In process of learning, when he not exercise in short time, he forget it. So really important to analyze person attitude before precise course of study. Number 10, attitude. Learning process also influenced by attitude. When person love to learn the subject or material, they will follow the learning process with good attitude and study diligently to acquire the subject. And on the other hand, someone will showing a bad attitude when they don't love the subject, like showing their boredom, not pay attention in class, and laziness to attend the class. The most established model of personality to date is the five-factor model from Costa and Maker to 1992. The model describes personality as a combination of traits along five central dimensions: openness to experience, concatenation, extraversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. That's explanation for me. I return to the moderator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Krisna Wijaya. Well, that's all about our discussion regarding the characteristic of personality in learning. If there is a wrong word or technical error during the presentation, we apologize. And we close with Paramasanti. Om Santi 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 Om.